I never did this before, so I'm actually like nervous. This is the first episode, so
No.
so it's like, oh damn, how do I like intro the intro, But hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is Off the Competition Floor, episode one with Compete Media. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Tell us about yourself, who you are, what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Jarrod. Um, I am the founder of Compete Media. Um, right now, I actually handle all the media and things like that, and helping build Rebecca Fuselier's brand. So on the media side of things, I handle that. We also help out a little bit from the business side. Also, um, a little bit of backstory on me. I have been doing photography since like 2010. Always dabbled in it beforehand. My first camera a was a Rebel. I think it was before they even came out with like a T3i. When they came out with T3i, I was like, "Oh, this is dope." But that was my first camera. Um, I shot a lot with that. I took it everywhere I went. Um, Fast forward to me, I played college basketball. Um, and after college basketball, I focused more on graphic design, which that's how I got into photography because it was a part of the graphic design program. And just fell in love with photography. And then obviously, if you fall in love with photography and the composition of photography, you'll naturally fall in love with videography and cinema and things like that. So it all just kind of like lined up. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up shooting college basketball for my college. Um, Ended up winning a few awards for that, and just connect with the right people and started shooting NBA. Shot the NBA for one full season. That's a different beast. Professional sports is a different beast, a different type of grind. Definitely wasn't something that I wanted to do for a career. I knew that, but I was glad I was able to do it. Yeah, so
Mm.
yeah.
I think that's like crazy though. Like I remember when we spoke before, you told me you shot like 1 year for the NBA. Like just give a brief insight into that, like from NBA to CrossFit. Like your life was
Oh,
basketball before, and then it like CrossFit kind of came into it. They say
yeah,
CrossFit, like it's some people call it a cult, and then once you get sucked in, it's like you're in.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
how was the transition? Like tell us about the NBA first and then the transition to CrossFit.
So shooting the NBA it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Getting to meet a lot of like players and just coaches and like fans and things like that. I had already been a part of that atmosphere because I had worked for the local team here, which is the Dallas Mavericks. So I'd already kind of knew the atmosphere a little bit. So going in, I remember I told you beforehand. I didn't
Yeah.
mention this earlier, but like I got fired from that job, which that job was the reason why I wasn't able to take photography classes because of the time frame, and because I got fired from that job, it opened up that time frame for me. So I was able to dive into photography, which actually opened up everything else for me.
Mm,
But
nice.
going back to the NBA, like I said, the NBA is a lot of fun. Like I said, it is a grind. I wasn't traveling; I was only shooting the local games, and that in itself was a grind. 41 home games, 3 games a week. If you like that lifestyle, then most of the time, like you're not getting home until like 10, maybe 11 at night. So like if you like that lifestyle, it's a lifestyle that you could possibly like create a career around. Myself, my now wife was my girlfriend at the time,
Hmm.
so being away at that time frame, from like 6 in the evening to possibly like 8, 9 o'clock, just wasn't ideal.
Mm,
Because if you're media, you got to be there at least 2 hours before the game.
yeah.
You know, so like there's that aspect of it. Um, it's just like anywhere else, right? There's spots where there's gatekeepers, and there's spots where there's people that are extremely supportive, and a little cliquish, just like everything else, right? Like there's people who have their crew and things like that, but it's very professional. I loved it, and I'll still tell people to this day, it's easier to go shoot. It's actually easier to go shoot a professional basketball game, an NBA game,
Hmm.
than it would be to shoot a CrossFit semifinal
Oh, that's
or
a.
even the CrossFit Games. It's so much easier to shoot an
Oh,
NBA game than it is to shoot any kind of CrossFit sanctioned event or anything like that.
yeah, yeah, that's a tough one. I'm still trying to. I mean, it's Berlin is like 2 weeks away. I'm still trying to like work my way around getting a media pass or figuring out how to get there. Like that's a whole other ball game
Yeah.
by itself. And so you did a year in NBA and then you transitioned to CrossFit. So you were training CrossFit at the same time, or like you just stayed in sports, and how did that go?
Well, see, the thing about CrossFit is the reason why I started shooting CrossFit is because I did shoot NBA before. And so, like, I shot NBA back in like 2000, gosh, I want to say 2013, 2013, 2014. That's when I shot the NBA. And I started doing CrossFit around 2014, but I only did like a couple classes. I didn't really like fully like commit to like going to CrossFit classes. The biggest reason was because me and my then girlfriend, which is my wife now, we
Mm-hmm.
were moving. So I went to the gym, the boxers like right across the street from us. So, and I just never like went to any boxes near where we are now until
Mm-hmm.
probably like I don't know, probably like 4 years ago. Yeah. So, and I've only been shooting CrossFit for probably about a year and a half, going on two. Well, yeah, going on 2 years. So, but it was the skills from actually being able to shoot in professional sports and understanding fitness because I've always been a fitnesser since I was a kid. So it's like understanding
Mm-hmm.
that being a CrossFitter, understanding movements, understanding like um, people's positioning, understanding different cues. When it comes to like Olympic lifting and things like that. So that actually helped me out a lot in becoming a better photographer for CrossFit, and that's which is why I kind of like advanced so fast because, of course, like in order for us to get better at something, we have to continuously shoot it. So I would always go to our gym on Saturdays and shoot every Saturday. And people joke now because
Mm-hmm.
I'm never there on Saturdays. People joke they're like, "Oh, you just use us to get." Yeah, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Nah," but I was actually just there just
Yeah.
this morning doing some shots. But yeah, man, like it's one of those things where you just have to shoot it a lot to get good at it and to understand like actually how to shoot it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And so you've been shooting CrossFit. So like let's say 2 years, 2.5, 3 years. No?
Yeah, yeah.
I think like my neighbor just shut the blinds. So I think that was just the noise we heard. But yeah. So yeah, you've been shooting CrossFit for like 2 years, let's say 2 years now. And so like how did the Rebecca Fuselier being her,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say like you're her videographer or content creator? Because I know when we spoke, like she does her own memes, but then you do like the professional content, like
Yeah,
photography, videography, that kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah. If you see
So
that,
how did that like happen? Yeah.
yeah. So, oh, how did that happen? Yeah, so
Yeah.
like how it happened was she has a sponsor. Her sponsor, Cambro, was a the owner of the company is a good friend of my coach's, and he said that he needed someone to shoot Rebecca because he's we're in Texas, and Texas is a big state, so he's almost 4 hours away. So he didn't really have anyone local
Mm.
to shoot her. So he asked me to shoot her. So I shot her. I shot her, and she came to our gym. She did a gymnastics clinic that morning, and then after that, I shot her doing a couple of pieces of her workout. And from then on, we just kind of clicked. I think, like I said before, like the biggest thing was that I did click with her coach. Her coach then, which um, he's still her coach, but like he was her boyfriend then, but now he's her husband. So
Mm-hmm.
me and him clicked. We just hit it off like really, really well. And then um, obviously, like in shooting her, right? Like she's fun to shoot. She's a great person. Um, she wasn't taking it like so now. It's funny because like when we shoot now, there's it's kind of the same, but it's different because we know each other very well now, right? So then we didn't really
Mm-hmm.
know each other that well, but now that we know each other very well, like I know when I can kind of like joke around with her during a workout or talk to her during a workout. And
Mm-hmm.
in our latest vlog, I think that we shot, that I mentioned that I was like, yeah, like just looking at you, I knew that I couldn't talk to you mainly because of how the workout was for you. And so I kind of give her space and things like that. And it's just like you got to be able to read
Mm-hmm.
the room, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that we've been
Yeah.
working together for so long, and I completely understand her. I understand how she moves. I understand where she goes. I understand which hand she puts down first when she's about to lift. It comes like that's like we as photographers and videographers, we have to understand those aspects of
Mm-hmm.
it and pay attention to that amount of detail, because that's what's going to make us the best at our job and understanding how to anticipate shots that we need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as like how everything happened, that's how it happened. And then we just kind of hit it off. Now we're, about a year and some change in. I didn't go with her to semifinals last year because I was covering another team. But
Mm-hmm.
this year we're going to semifinals, and it's going to be fun.
Nice, nice, nice. That's dope. So what would you say is like your most memorable experience, like in your career for CrossFit or sports,
I mean,
aside from
everybody.
NBA? So like
Oh,
let's
so
let's stick
like,
to the CrossFit. So in sports, like because I mean, someone could be like, oh yeah, I shot NBA for a year. That was like one of the
yeah,
best things I ever shot. But now you're like a CrossFit videographer, photographer. You do stuff on the side, no? But
yeah, I do.
yeah.
So like, it's funny you say that because out of everything that I've shot, I will say NBA is not the top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I will say CrossFit is at the top of the
Ah,
list.
cool.
And I will say, and people would say the games and stuff like that, or at semifinals events, they shot that. And it's not even that. Like, to be honest, I feel like the best thing that I've shot, um, man, it's a tough one, but it's not those things. It's probably like a good training session
Mm-hmm.
with Rebecca. Like, when we have a good training session, like, because we shoot vlogs, right? We shoot weekly vlogs. And with those, it gives me the ability to like, cut my teeth at directing because I love because that's what I really have a passion about doing as far as like directing and doing commercials and things like that. So with the vlogs, it gives me the ability to cut my teeth there and
Mm-hmm.
utilize planning, um, utilize like direction and things like that in the vlogs with her. And yeah. Oh, you know what? The quarterfinals vlog. So when we shot quarterfinals was probably like the thing that I liked the most to shoot with quarterfinals
Mm-hmm.
because what we ended up doing was we gave people more insight than what they normally would get in other vlogs. So we started out with the announcement of the vlog. So the announcement of the
Yeah.
workouts, and you could see the reactions and the planning between her and her coach, and then you can see the frustration on her face when one of the workouts didn't go as well as planned. It's like that for me. Like I love that aspect, the storytelling aspect of it, and being able to tell a story and putting it out there where people can actually consume it
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy it in a way where it just kind of like touches them and they can relate to it.
Nice, nice. Cool. And okay, so I think I totally get it in terms of I've shot a few comps, nothing huge in terms of like, you know, quarters or semis, but like I've shot like when I did the shoot with Laura, I
Mm-hmm.
think that was one of or my best or favorite moments, you know, like 'cause just being in the gym, like and then like I was really nervous, but like when I finally like put on the camera and you know you see your colors looking how you want them to look and everything is like going so well, you get home, you edit, it's like is this euphoric feeling, you know, it's like you can't put it up next to anything else and so yeah, that's really, really, really nice. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
talking
catches people
about
off guard, though. People would think that, oh, yeah, shooting is like major event. To be honest, if you shot
yeah.
major events, you understand how much they actually suck. Like, shooting events are not the greatest. It's
Hmm.
great to be there. You know what I'm saying? I think, and some people that haven't shot the events are thinking of it from a spectator standpoint.
Hmm.
It's great to be there, but to actually be at the event working, it's definitely different. You know, so that's why I think training sessions are the best thing because it's so laid back, it's so chill, and you can try different things, you can explore, you can like
Hmm.
just try new stuff that you've always kind of wanted to try new angles. It's just that's where we experiment.
Yeah. I think from a perspective where some like for me where I haven't shot like Waterpalooza or a like a semi-finals or the games, I think it's more knowing that if you get the opportunity to be there and like film, because you'll be able to not only film like whatever brand or athlete, but you'll be able to film multiple people and expand, your network,
Mhm.
so opportunities can come to you wherever opportunities may be, So I think that's how I see it, or other people on my level where we're like really aiming to get that one spot, or just enter into the arena so more people see our work, get known a bit more. So yeah,
I get that.
that's kind of how I see it. I'm not sure if people agree, but yeah.
No, 100% get that. Yeah.
So I want to say nerves, but I feel like you've been doing it long enough to kind of shake off the nerves. But I'll ask, like, is there like a time you've been shooting either Rebecca or an athlete and you feel like you messed up or you could have done something much better?
Yeah, I mean, all the time. Like, I mean, I'm the type of person that still forgets what ISO I had it on last time I shot. you know, and because if I've shot, because obviously if you're shooting in the same place, like your setting's gonna roughly be the same,
Hmm.
right? But like if I've shot somewhere else and then come back and it's me and Rebecca shooting the training session, I just pull my camera and I start shooting, thinking that my settings are still the same, and I look and I be
Ooh.
like, why is there so much glare? I was like, oh, my shutter speeds are like 1/15th or 1/120th or something.
Mm.
Yeah, so like it's stuff like that, right? Like I messed up and I'd be like, oh, there was one time where we shot something, a training session, and I ended up formatting over the footage by accident. Not all of it, but one of
Oh.
them. Yeah. But that's not even the worst. I'm gonna tell you the worst. This is when I saved. And my friends close to me know this one. So
Ooh.
all right, so for day one of the games, right? Rebecca does the first event, and then I think it's the second event is in the Coliseum, where yeah they're doing the skill speed medley, and that's where they're doing it almost like a tournament style, right? Where there's elimination, but there's certain skill progressions, right? So you start out doing pegboards, but you do them strict, right? Strict
Hmm.
pegboards, no legs, right? And then the next one is legs and things like that. So basically, Rebecca at that event, Rebecca ended up getting, and that was the one where they introduced the double under crossover,
Yeah.
right? So that event, there was two and three. So those events, two, Rebecca got second in next to Daniel Brandon, right?
Hmm.
And the other event, she got pretty high in also. So it was like, I was just like, obviously, like riding on high that she finished so high, right? Definitely, we weren't expecting that, right? So get back to the hotel, and yeah, like I don't know. I thought I took all the footage off.
Ooh.
So yeah, so we get to the venue in the morning, and I remember distinctly me formatting over the card when I did it. Formatted over the card, went and shot the other events, which was I think that was day two. They were supposed to have a break, but the rain had ended up happening, so they had to push an event on day two So event three that was supposed to be on day one, they had to push it to day two because of the rain. So shot that event, cool. Go back to the card, putting everything in, and I'm looking. I'm like, where the hell is this footage at?
Oh,
Yeah, I formatted over
oh.
her highest placing
Jeez.
at the games. Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
So that was tough for me to tell her about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so, I mean, I told her. I can't remember when I told her. I don't know if I think I told her. But the thing about it is, I ended up taking off certain clips and creating them into reels. So we still had some of that,
Mm-hmm.
but we just didn't have all the other footage from that day.
Yikes.
So
That's a
that's the
tough
worst
one.
one.
That's a
Yeah,
tough one.
I tell
So
you what, I'll never do that again. Every
yeah.
time, I make sure.
Yeah, that's a lesson to learn. Like back up and back
Yeah,
up and
yeah.
check before formatting like twice, always, always. Oh man. Yeah, I think I actually have some footage on this card now, and before I film a wedding this weekend, I
Oh,
need to
weddings are
check.
the worst. So
I
much
need to
pressure,
check.
bro. I'll never shoot another wedding. I shot her wedding and that was it. I'll
Oh,
never shoot. I shot her and Matt's wedding, but I'll never
mhm,
shoot another wedding. No,
really? Mm-mm.
I only do it for like friends. That's all who I'll do it for. Like I'm
Yeah.
not. No.
For me, wedding season just started, and
Mm.
it's like if I'm not filming CrossFit every Saturday for the until September might be one, but I pick and choose which ones I take, and it's like so much pressure, so long, and if you miss something, it's like, geez, yeah. So
Can't ask them to do it again. Hey, can y'all do it again? The kids. Hey, can y'all go back up and do it again?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and the thing is like it's always one person that's always like really tense. So if it's really not the bride that is tense for the wedding, it's the groom.
Mm.
So someone is always like really tense, and you like some things might happen, and it's just I have some crazy wedding stories, but that's on next time for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, how like your first was the where you formatted the cards? That was your first games experience, or
Hey, yeah, yeah.
yes. So yeah, that was my next question. How was your first game experience? Besides
Terrible.
that mishap.
Nah, I'm joking. It wasn't terrible. Uh, I mean, it was fun, man. Like I had already shot a semifinal prior to that, right? And a lot of people at the semifinal were there. Like, and this is another thing. It's the community, right? The community,
Hmm.
not just the community of CrossFit, but now you got community of CrossFit, and within that community of CrossFit, you got a community of like content creators
Yeah.
that love CrossFit. So it's a great community, man, and I love it. It's funny because at Granite Games, it was the semifinal that I shot, and we all took a photo together. It's like this
Oh,
big photo of
nice.
like everybody just at Granite Games, all the photographers and videographers were all together. It's such a dope photo because everybody has their cameras and stuff like that.
Nice.
And one of the funniest things, we were all so someone had to give someone else their camera to take a photo.
Oof.
Right. So they gave one of the volunteers their camera to take a photo. I mean, it wasn't. They had like it wasn't an expensive one. They had like something for them to shoot. So they shot. The person was taking the photo, and they were like this. They were doing taking it one at a time,
Yeah.
and then everybody at the same time they were like, "Hold down the shutter." Right? Like hold it down. Everybody, it was so funny, man, because it's
Oh.
just like that's one of those things where it's like if you're a part of the community, you completely understand that.
Hmm.
You can understand how funny that moment is because this lady just sitting there snapping one away. You know?
She's like half clicking and
Yeah. But yeah,
ah,
man.
nice, nice. And so tying into that, which is like nice, like the games experience or semis experience, and then like the community in terms of content creators. Like how do you deal with like pressure or like creative block knowing that there are a lot of people are filming at the same time, and then you don't necessarily have to perform, but you have to like be at a certain level, to
Yeah.
yeah, like how do you deal with that? Because like sometimes it can get to you, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, shoot, it gets to us like every day when we scroll through Instagram too, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
you start getting what do they call that? Gosh, um, I forgot the name of it. But anyways,
There's
but yeah, it's imposter syndrome. You start getting
yes, yes.
imposter
Yeah, yeah,
syndrome,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Which is the weirdest thing. Imposter syndrome. I mean, everybody gets it, and no matter what profession.
Hmm.
But if you understand exactly what that is, that's just you trying to be better. And if you understand that that's all that is, then there shouldn't be any like fear or anything that you have. You shouldn't really be scared to continue to create. You shouldn't stop creating. You shouldn't look at someone else's work and be like, "Oh man, my stuff sucks." I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is everybody has different types of styles.
Hmm.
I remember being at semifinals and seeing everybody else's uploads and being like, "Why am I even here?" You
Yeah.
know, like um, I would see that and I would see like the colors and I would see how the composition was so good and I would look at mine and I'd be like, how are they getting this? We're shooting in the same area, right? Like, how are they getting this type of shot? How are they looking this way? And reality is, it's like it's just style. Like everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own eye. It's called vision for a reason because not everybody can see it. Right? It's your
Ooh,
vision for a reason. Yeah.
I
So
like that. That I love that. I love that.
I use that not in that context, but I always use it as from an entrepreneurial
Hmm.
concept because like there's a lot of times as an entrepreneur where you're just too ahead of the game and like the game hasn't caught up to you yet. You just got to be patient,
Hmm.
right? Like right now, and I'm going off topic, but right now in CrossFit, you know, Rebecca is just ahead of the game. She's as far as like from a branding standpoint, who she is as a person. I mean, it makes a lot of sense for her to be 23 years old but have an old soul because she is that far ahead of the game,
Hmm.
and the game just hasn't caught up to her yet. Right? Even from a business perspective, especially, um, she's not the type of person that'll sit there and take sponsors from just anyone. You know, she's not going to be sitting there creating the same stuff that everyone else creates, which is why she
Yeah.
does the memes that she does. Right? She looks at things, she analyzes things, she takes the time to try to figure out how she can be unique with them, and this is how she stands out. This is why she has the following that she has. It's why she has the support that she has. So, um, tying it back into like the imposter syndrome and us feeling like our work's not good enough when we actually see other people upload and other people's work. It's like understanding like your vision and who you are is unique to you, and just stick to that. That's all that matters. None of the other stuff matters. It's just noise. All it is noise because your style is good enough for someone, and someone will come along and someone will love your style, which a lot of people do. And to be honest, I love the different types of styles, the unique
Hmm.
styles. I have a guy that I'm cool with. Um, he shoots, and to be honest, his style is nowhere near my style, but it works for him, and I love looking at his photos.
Hmm.
So um, yeah, and I always feel like taking bits and pieces from. Have you seen the book Great Artist Steal?
No,
There's a,
no.
there's a
What?
book called Great Artist Steal, and what it talks about is how all everything created is not created from just like um someone just out of thin air.
Yeah.
Everything has some type of influence, right? So your work being influenced by something or someone, and taking bits and pieces from different types of people, different types of people work, and then just kind of like building your own thing. And
Hmm.
that's huge.
Yeah, definitely. I think I like that. I have like you have to text me that book. There was
Oh
something
yeah,
else
for
you were
sure.
supposed to send me a link to. I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember what it was either.
I'll check the video and see. But I love that because it's the same with me. I think sometimes like I love Instagram has this save option now. So sometimes I'm going through like reels that people create. I'm like, oh wow, like I saved this, I saved this. There's this one from PC Visions, and like
Oh
one of
yeah.
his like reels where he like did his like full reel of all the work he's done. He does this transition where like the clip slows down, it zooms out of like the barbell and the person puts on a plate and it's so clean. Like
Yeah.
I've been trying to like do that mask for months and I'm just like, dude, however he did it, it's crazy. It's so nice.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Brandon's a cheat code for real. Yeah. He's super cool. I met him at the semifinals I shot, and Brandon's like the coolest person, bro. Like, for one, I didn't know who he was when I first ran into him. So all of a sudden, we're on the sideline and we're shooting. So Granny Games is outside, right? And it's at the Minnesota Vikings practice facility. So we're shooting, and one of the women's heats is about to start, and all of a sudden, some dude comes running down with a gimbal, right? And the camera, he's just running full speed, and everybody just gets out the way. And I was like, "Who the hell is that?" And somebody was like, "That's BC." I was like, "Who?" Like BC Vision. I said, "Oh shit, I didn't even know that. I never had seen him before." And fast forward to the next day, I get there early in the morning, and we're in the press box, and he's like he's like sitting in a seat, and like there's only two other seats next to him. So I just sat down, and we just started chopping it up, and he was like super cool. And ever since then, like we've been really cool.
Nice,
I actually
nice.
just sent him. I actually just talked to him yesterday briefly. Um, Tier had posted one of his videos that he had done. And you can tell BC's work. You can tell his work. No
Yeah,
matter.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
So
Like you just
I,
know it's him.
yeah, I
Yeah.
knew it was him. So I just commented and I said like, "Great work as usual, bro." And he commented back. So it's just like,
Yeah.
everybody like, and that ties into the last question you asked as far as like the community. Right? Everybody's great. Everybody supports each other. Everybody helps one another. If you got a question, like BC actually is extremely cool. He helps.
Yeah.
Like if you have a question, just ask him, and he'll definitely he'll give you as much information as he possibly can.
Yeah, that's why I kind of started this as well. Because in like other industries or sports, I haven't gotten this kind of, a community presence, especially if like from content creators. Like if you go to shoot, like not I don't want to call out any single, thing, but I mean in terms of like doing media for like 6, 7 years now, and then doing CrossFit for 1 year. Like I think around the Murph, like so in like about 2 weeks it'll be like exactly like a year I started, CrossFit. Is like every single one in the industry is like so nice, and they're helpful, and then the content creators is like it's just even better because you learn from them, you can ask questions, and it doesn't matter like how huge this person is or how small this person is like everyone kind of comes together because it's like there's enough room at the seats at the table for everyone. So
For
yeah,
sure,
I
for
love
sure.
that. I love that. All right, so um, two more questions. I'll ask the last one first. I'll reverse. So it's like how because the last one is like I mean when I ask you is everyone's gonna like think about it before I ask them now, so I have to figure out where to place it. But the first one is how can people get in contact with you, to film their
Oh,
stuff, whether it be CrossFit or weddings or
well, all right. So people can contact me on Instagram, like 100%. Instagram compete. Is it compete.media?
compete.media. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
compete.media. Yeah, I forget. um, yeah, so compete.media. People can contact me there, or they can email me at Jarrod at competemedia.pro. Like I said, .pro. So many people put .com. Like the PR company that handles everything for the press passes, they even got it wrong. They put .com. They're like,
Oh,
hey, we've been trying to email you for like the past like 5 days. It keeps bouncing back because they had my personal email. And I was like, well, shoot, you put the wrong extension in. That's why.
yeah,
So, yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Anyways,
So the hot seat question. So predictions for the CrossFit 23 season.
like who's going to win?
Win, wild cards, Anything?
Definitely not Tia. Tell you that. Nah.
By any chance that Shane or Tia sees this podcast, congrats, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah,
want to wish
congrats,
you all
bro.
congrats and happy Mother's Day.
Bro, did
Yeah.
you see Shane's dad, like his dad outfit?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
the only problem I had with that is he had New Balances on. He should have had the Nike barbecue shoes. Like, that's what he should have had on to the New Balances. But like that outfit was spot on for sure.
For sure,
But
for sure.
as far as like winnings, um, so like this is what I'll do. Excuse me. I will give who I think is going to make like drastic improvements this year. Like, right, this is what I do. So on the female side, because obviously, like I pay really close attention to the female side. Obviously, number one, Rebecca. She's gonna make drastic improvements, and people are gonna be like, "Wow," this year. Obviously, I'm biased, but I'm in the gym with her all the time, so I see it. I see it like I saw it before Wadapalooza, right? And then when Wadapalooza came, people were just so shocked at like one of the workouts, how she handled the weight, and like they were so shocked at her placing, right? And at Wadapalooza, she would have placed higher. She would have placed higher at Wadapalooza, but there was an issue with judging, and we're not going to talk about that.
We
But like
wouldn't talk about.
to just know, the thing is like to just know that because of a technicality is why she didn't get the placing that she wanted, right? That's all the confidence that we need going into semis and going into the games. So she's number one. She's gonna make drastic improvements. I wouldn't. If do they have most improved? I think they do have most improved. I wouldn't be surprised if she does get most improved. Right. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. As far as like top three, I think this is Miles' year. This is Miles' year.
Mars? Okay.
Miles just on another level. She's always been on another level before she got with HWPO. You know, I'm good friends with James Townsend. So like, I saw the progression and things like that before she got with HWPO, and now being with Matt and being with Amy Everett and that community, learning the little tidbits that's going to make her an extremely elite athlete. I feel like this is her year. So I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think it'll be her year. Right?
Yeah.
I think she'll win a lot of events, but I still feel like it won't be it won't be like a landslide or anything like that. It'll be kind of like how last year was. I was back and forth. Like I think last year, I mean, as long as I've been following games, that was the first time I ever seen the leader jersey changed to 3 different people, right? Because Emma Watson had it on, Ma had it on, and Tia had it on. So there's that. On the men's side, Ariel Alone. On the women's side, Ariel Alone is gonna. I mean, I feel like she'll probably podium this year, more than likely. She's just very, very well-rounded as an athlete, and she's a sneaky athlete. Like she's one of those people where she doesn't have a huge name, like a Danny or like a Laura and things like that. I think she'll podium or get really, really close to podium this year. So I think she'll just sneak up that leaderboard, as the days go on. On the men's side, I mean, you gotta go with Justin.
Yeah.
But I think Roman is like right there, bro. Right there.
He's coming for it.
Especially with Ricky being injured this year, like Roman's right there. Roman's he just continues to get better. Continues to get better. He was already good, and he's just continued to get better. So Roman, and I don't know. I can't think. I think most improved. And it's tough on the men's side. I don't know who that would be, but one person who I'm really looking to see is Nick Matthews. Nick Matthews is legit. Like him a lot. Yeah, especially like how his performance was last year, coming from the last chance qualifier.
Yeah.
Him and Ariel. I think Ariel came from the last chance qualifier too last year, and then they're in like I feel like both of them are in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they should. I think so.
But yeah, anyways, but those are my hot seat
Hot seat
prediction.
predictions. Yeah, that'll be like the running theme until
Yeah.
games, and then it'll be for invitationals for Rogue, and then we'll see what comes next. But it has the so now I have to switch it up. Like we probably ask the person at the start of the episode.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so I mean, Jarrod, thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate you kicking off the podcast with me. Good luck coming up in a few weeks to you and Rebecca, and I look forward to seeing the shots, man. Take care. And everyone, thanks for listening. This was Off the Competition Floor, the podcast, episode 1.
If you're not following, subscribe, do all the good stuff.
Yes.
You know,
Do all those things, please. Like, share, follow, subscribe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely share because shares matter.
Yeah, those shares matter for sure. All right,
It
thanks,
should be a
guys.
T-shirt. Shares matter.